So talk to me about assists then. What kind of strategies, players, and positions should we look out for assists if we're
So
punting
yeah,
again?
if you're punting assists, obviously for me, if I'm thinking of doing a punt, and as I said, I punt multiple categories, and I think that's going to be one of your questions later, like combining strategies. So for me, it's not as clear cut as it used to be, but I generally have the categories, so yeah, your 9 categories. I split them into 2 columns, I suppose. Assists, steals, 3 pointers, points, guard categories. Generally speaking, as I said, it's not as clear cut now because more and more bigs are hitting threes. But then you've got your rebound, and free throw percentage, sorry, in that category as well, because guards tend to be better from the free throw line. And then on the other side, I have rebounds, blocks, field goal percentage, turnovers would fall in there as your big sort of your centers, your power forwards. So if I'm punting assists, for example, that was your question, wasn't it? Was punting
Mm-hmm.
assists. So if I'm punting assists, I'm going, okay, well, that's a guard stat. So I'm leaning into a team with bigs. So I'm looking at centers, I'm looking at power forwards, and that's easy. You can go and get a center, you can go and get a power forward. But what you need to look at if you're punting guard stats is you still need to get guards on your roster because most leagues will have some sort of a requirement where you need 2 guards or 3 guards. So it's about finding those guards that where assists aren't necessarily a strength because you want to try and create some value here. So some names would be, and I will bring it up. And look, it's not when you're punting as well. You have to be careful. Not just because you're punting assists doesn't mean you don't want assists. Like
You
if
don't
there's
want
a
to
guy,
lose. You don't want to lose the category. You're not
yeah,
intentionally trying to lose the category. You're just not prioritizing it.
that's right. Yeah, it's just not a focus. So you don't care. So like if you had the first pick and I'm going in and I'm going, okay, look, I'm going to punt assists this year. That doesn't mean I'm not going to take Jokic with the first pick because he's good at assists. You still take Jokic with the first pick. Um, but some guards here, if I sort of go through my lists that I've got going with when punting assists, and you usually have to dive if you've got rankings, if you've got Basketball Monster, if you've got any of those, you usually have to sort of scroll through a little bit to find guys. So someone like a Buddy Hield, he's a solid player. He was top 50 or something last year, but doesn't get a lot of assists. He'll get you your other guard stats. He'll chip in some steals. He'll get threes. He'll get points. So he's not someone like that is not a bad guy to target. Who else we got? Tyrese Maxey, Devin Vassell, guys like this who are going to score, get you 20 points, maybe get some threes. So they'll get your typical guard stats, but won't get 8 assists like a Trae Young or a Harden or 10 assists. So that is what you want to be looking at. And like I said, with the increase in value, so someone like where are we? So Tyrese Maxey gets a small bump in a build like that, as does Devin Vassell. Derek White would be another one. Probably not as much this year because he's going to be pretty good at assists, I would say, or better than he has been. So that's who you're sort of looking at. Emmanuel Quickly is another guy sort of down the list here. Terry Rozier probably if LaMelo Ball stays healthy, he's probably another guy you can look at. So those sort of guards, they'll get sort of a round, generally a bump of about a round when you're punting assists.